Usually, it goes without saying that famous people existed. However, famous figures have popped up over the years and have widely believed to be real people, when in reality, they never were. Welcome to 5 famous people who never existed. Number 5. Aunt Jemima. Aunt Jemima is a brand known worldwide for pancake mix, syrup, and other breakfast foods. However, most associate Aunt Jemima with the African American woman who appears on all of the products. Unfortunately, Aunt Jemima is not behind the pancake and syrup recipes, as she did not exist. Aunt Jemima's origin was the minstrel show, and in the late 19th century she was adopted and placed on all of the Aunt Jemima products. Aunt Jemima was also given a key to the city of Albion, Michigan, despite not existing. Number 4. Jack Dawson. We all know Jack Dawson, who was played by Leonardo DiCaprio in the film The Titanic. Although it is widely believed that he was a passenger on the ship, there are no records of him being on the ship. Records indicate that there was, in fact, a J. Dawson on board. However, James Cameron had only found this out after he had written the screenplay for the movie. The Jack Dawson of the movie was therefore not based on the real passenger J. Dawson. To this day, no one knows what the J in J. Dawson stood for. Number 3. David Manning. David Manning is known as a popular film reviewer. He gave several positive reviews of Sony-released movies, including Hollow Man, A Knight's Tale, and The Animal. He referred to the late Heath Ledger as this year's hottest star. David Manning allegedly wrote for a small Connecticut paper called the Ridgefield Press. However, upon investigation, Manning had never worked for them. Sony later admitted to inventing David Manning in order to use his positive reviews to promote their movies. Inventing your own film reviewer may seem like a good idea in principle. However, Sony had to pay out $1.8 million in damages. Moviegoers who saw the films based upon Manning's reviews were eligible to $5 in damages. Number 2. George P. Burdell. George P. Burdell graduated high school, received undergraduate degrees from Georgia Tech, served in the US military as part of a bombing crew during World War II. He then got married and re-enrolled at Georgia Tech, sitting every class available. He was a member of Mad Magazine Board of Directors and was a leading candidate for Time Magazine's 2001 Person of the Year. However, he was promptly removed from the list of candidates. The reason why he was removed is because he did not exist. In 1927, Ed Smith had mistakenly been sent 2 registration forms for Georgia Tech. As a practical joke, Smith filled out one of the forms as George P. Burdell. Smith was able to keep the hoax going by doing all of George's assigned work. The fictitious George eventually graduated. Other students eventually found out of George's non-existence. However, rather than reporting the hoax, the students kept the hoax alive. Number 1. Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is known worldwide for personifying the US government or the US in general. He bears a red, white and blue attire and has a distinct white goatee. The nickname most likely came from Samuel Wilson, who was a meat supplier for the United States Army. The barrels he supplied were marked US. The US stood for the United States. However, soldiers referred to the meat as Uncle Sam's. Uncle Sam gradually caught on as a nickname for the US federal government. Thomas Nast, a political cartoonist, began developing the Uncle Sam image during the late 1860s and 1870s. James Montgomery Flagg is credited with designing the most famous image of Uncle Sam. The image was used on the cover of Leslie's Weekly in 1916. The cover depicted Uncle Sam famously pointing at the viewer. This portrait was then used with the caption, "I want you for the US Army," as a recruiting poster. The Uncle Sam poster has since been used in several recruiting campaigns.